You are technically correct, but here's the catch. When it comes to laws like this, it's not a matter of someone looking up the law in a book and going, oh yeah, this is legal or illegal. It's a matter of people interpreting the law in any given case. Most judges, unfortunately, just do not understand the technology that goes into emulators and into video games in general, actually. This isn't me insulting them, it's not an area that they have a specialization in. So a company can still pursue legal action against an emulator, and a judge's interpretation of the law might still favor them. Secondly, you have to remember that legal battles cost money. And emulator developers have a lot less money than major corporations. Money is the big gatekeeper here. Look at the example of Bleem. Bleem was an emulator that was meant to run on Apple products. It was meant to allow them to emulate PlayStation games. They didn't distribute the ROMs, it was totally legal. But Sony still pursued legal action. At the end of the day, Bleem won. It was ruled that Bleem was entirely legal. It could be distributed on Apple platforms, and you could play your PlayStation backups with it. You could just put in a PlayStation disc and you'll be fine. However, the legal fees bankrupted Bleem. Shortly after they won the lawsuit, Bleem ended up going out of business. Everything they owned was auctioned off on eBay. So Sony still got what they wanted. Even if the law doesn't agree with you, the very threat of legal action is enough to get people to back off. Look at the recent Melee tournament that was cancelled by Nintendo. It was running an emulator that used additional code that let you run Super Smash Bros. Melee with rollback. Every single competitor was willing to show that they owned an original copy of Melee, which would make this entire tournament legal. And if it went to court, yeah, maybe they would have won. And they all would have been broke or in debt. Tournament organizers and pro gamers don't have that sort of money, so they just back down. The threat is enough. That's what makes this a legal gray area. That's why I keep calling it a legal gray area. It's because it's not black and white. It's not very clear what's legal and illegal, and it's not clear enough that if you go to court over it, it'll be ruled very quickly and not bankrupt you. It is a bigger threat to people who don't have money. This is what happens in legal gray areas. You can push your money and influence against people who don't have it, because the process is enough to ruin someone. So yeah, you're mostly right. You could pretty much interpret it that emulators are not illegal as the law is written. There are plenty of emulators on the Android store, and there are even emulators on Steam. But they only exist because everyone else is turning a blind eye. Make no mistake, if one of these emulators was featured, say, in a convention for Nintendo fan hack, Nintendo would have that shit taken down in a heartbeat. This is unfortunately one of those situations where the law only protects you if you have the money to pay, and most of us don't have the money to pay.